Hey there everyone, it's Jenna. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to check out some local antique shops here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I used to love going to Golden Oldies and Sleepy Poet over in North Carolina when we lived there. Those were some of my favorite antiquing spots, but I really haven't explored many antique shops over here, and I haven't done the vintage shopping thing while living here really. So we're going to go to some antique fairs. So these actually happen once a month, which is kind of fun. So they're all fall and Halloween themed right now, which is super cool. So we'll see if we can get some fun fall decorating inspiration and just see what antiques we come across. So let's go ahead in there and see what they got.
Okay, so the first spot that I decided to check out was Merchant Square, and this is a huge warehouse filled with vintage collectibles, and this part is actually open 7 days a week. So here in this section, the booths are rented out by individual vendors, and this vendor was one of my favorites. I really loved all her vintage inspired pumpkin still lifes. This little card says that she distresses all of the frames herself to give them that vintage feel, and this gave me some inspiration to age some thrift store frames myself and then put some digital downloads off of Etsy in them. Definitely a really affordable DIY that you could totally do on your own to create that autumnal feel in your space. Another thing that I love to use during the holidays are brass candlestick holders, and these little trumpet ones would be so cute styled on somewhere like a shelf or a mantle during Christmas time. And I also love collecting vintage brass candlestick holders to use in my tablescapes, and these guys were a little bit pricey for me, but it is a good example of what to look out for at somewhere like a thrift store where you could get them for a cheaper price. I also love to mix and match different sizes and shapes for a more collected feel. When you have all of the candlesticks combined, it looks really pretty to have different heights and shapes, and they also had this stunning candelabra that kind of gave me Haunted Mansion vibes. It was a little bit pricey for me, but it would look really pretty styled with some candles on somewhere like a console table or in a windowsill. I also loved these giant vintage look bells for hanging on some garland for the holidays. And if you go to the back entrance of Merchant Square, there's Highland Yard Vintage Market, and this is the fair portion that's only open once a month. And how cute was this outfit? I loved the casual flowy pants paired with the ghost print tank and hat. So stinking cute, perfect for fall, and looks really comfy. So inside they have so many different vendors, and they have things like clothes, plants, super cute decor, homemade crafts. It's so fun to just walk through here and see all of the displays. Everything is so aesthetic here, and there's just so much attention to detail, and it's clear that the people who put this together are just really creative. So it was so fun walking around to get all kinds of fall decorating inspiration. And one of my favorite things that I saw repeated throughout a lot of the booths here was this black cheesecloth, and I've actually seen this in stores for under $10, so I will link it below. It's really great for getting that creepy Halloween look in your space, and it would be so cute popped along a mantle or somewhere like a console table for that Haunted Mansion look. You could also use it as a table runner and pop some candles and layer in something like these fabric pumpkins. I loved the little Spanish moss detail and the vintage look of the floral fabric ones. Another cute DIY idea was this ghost garland. It looks like they just took some gauzy fabric and wrapped it around little balls with twine. Super simple and cute. Another idea is to use a glass cloche on a cake stand with some creepy decor inside. This would be fun styled on a kitchen countertop or in a little bar area. I also loved these little stitch artwork pieces. This would be such a fun and beginner-friendly DIY, especially because you could just draw it out with a pencil and then thread some embroidery floss along your simple drawing. I also loved this set of chippy candlestick holders. They're a pretty pale sage green color, and I thought $31 for a set of 3 of them wasn't too bad. And another thing that I thought was really creative were these faux potion jars made out of old Crown Royal containers. And I love the way this looks paired with a spooky vintage photo, and these could be a fun thing to DIY with some friends at a little Halloween craft night. And I also loved this Salem soil idea too, just super cute and creative. And speaking of creative, I came across this ceramic artist Bryn Payne, and her stuff was absolutely adorable. She made these really cute pumpkin and ghost bowls, and I used to do ceramics a lot when we lived back in North Carolina, so I'm always just super interested in this stuff. And I loved these little tic-tac-toe games that she made, and she actually has an online shop, so I will link it below. There were so many fun styling ideas here, so especially if you like to host Halloween and fall gatherings, this would be a great place to come to get some inspiration if you're local. And I really liked this set of hanging rusty bells with this frayed velvet ribbon. I thought this was fun for like a fall version of the brass bells that you normally see around Christmas time. And another easy DIY idea was this cute little mummy book. It would be so fun if you used some gauzy cheesecloth and just temporarily wrapped a book up that you already have for the season. It would be really cute styled on somewhere like a coffee table or maybe a bookshelf. And after getting so many fun ideas at the Highland Yard Market, I walked back through Merchant Square and found this really pretty olive jar. I love that rustic Mediterranean feel that these give to a space, and I thought that the peacock feathers were something fun and different too. And I also loved these simple terracotta jack-o'-lanterns. This actually would be a really cute concept to just use some black acrylic paint on a terracotta planter, and then you could plant some mums or other fall flowers inside of it. Okay, so next we're gonna move on to the other monthly market that I checked out, and this is Sweet Salvage. And they have a cute little outdoor area and then 2 warehouse spaces. And I thought that this skeleton moss head was such a fun idea for a decor piece that feels natural and festive at the same time. I also loved this vintage handled clay pot. It looks super rustic with the cactus inside, but this could even double as a cauldron for the Halloween season with somewhere like a little console table. You could put a rechargeable diffuser inside to create some smoke or pop a little broom next to it. And speaking of brooms, I really liked this one that they had here because it was made entirely out of wood and just had that natural earthy feel to it. And this could be a fun DIY to gather up some sticks from your backyard and just make your own little decorative broom. Another idea that I loved were these vintage amber glass jars used as candle holders. And I love how simple and rustic this looks, but they were a little pricey for me at $16 each. But this definitely gave me some inspiration to start collecting amber glass bottles, maybe from like kombucha or beer bottles, because I love the collected feel that these have, and they'd be stunning styled along a table with some garland or on a mantle for that old world cozy feel for fall or during the holidays. I also thought the skeleton playing the piano was so fun. If you have a piano in your space, this could be a great way to style it for Halloween, especially if you're having a Halloween party. Could be a fun conversation piece. And speaking of Halloween party, these little ghost coasters were so cute, and this would actually be a really easy DIY if you just got some white marble coasters at TJ Maxx or HomeGoods and then drew little ghost faces on them. And then in addition to all the fun Halloween decor, they actually had some really beautiful antique and vintage staple pieces. I thought this carved coffee table was stunning. I loved the distressed rustic finish on it, and it was actually an awesome price at only $185. Like, that's cheaper than a coffee table from Target. And I actually almost bought this piece, but the reason I decided not to was because it had a beautiful rustic finish to it, but I actually usually look for a rustic texture. So for example, this beautiful stool has that rustic texture. The wood is actually worn and distressed and has dimension to it, which can only be done over time, and I love the authentic worn texture that gives off. It has so much character and warmth, and I just love the feel that it gives to a space. This vintage wedding chest was also super beautiful. I loved all of the carving details and how this would add so much dimension and personality to a space, but it would still feel really natural and earthy at the same time. And this with a little plant popped on it in a corner of an entryway or something would just make such a beautiful statement. Another thing that I love to collect are worn wood vases. These give off such an exotic feel, and if you get one that has a gorgeous patina on it like this one, it can just add so much character and charm to a space. I have a pair that I always style on my dining table, and I just love the warmth and texture that they give off. Same thing with these vintage skinny benches. These are great to style at the foot of a bed or as a way to add some interest in a hallway with some artwork hung above it. You guys know that I have like 3 of these already, so I had to exercise some self-control. But they also had these really pretty rustic breadboards. I love to style these on my backsplash just to give my kitchen that old world homey feel. It adds a touch of that rustic warmth that helps to bring in that coziness to my kitchen. You can also do the same thing with a piece of vintage artwork. And another thing that I saw that was super cool was this worn wooden stick. I actually thought this would be really pretty if you have a blank wall. You could hang this up with some string and then attach hanging planters of different heights below it, and this would give your wall a gorgeous hanging guarded feel. It would add so much interest and a pop of greenery, and it was so cool that this branch was only $8. So definitely a fun piece that has a lot of potential. And speaking of gardens, I saw this rustic wooden table and I love the idea of using this for a potting station. It would look really cute against the side of a house with a bunch of terracotta pots on it, and you could store all your soil and potting mix underneath. Definitely some really fun pieces and a ton of inspiration here at these vintage markets.
All right, everyone, that about wraps up this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed coming to the antique shops with me. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help to support my channel, and be sure that you're subscribed because we have a lot more home decor content coming your way, so you don't want to miss it. And I just want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.